of August 2021, and we are just packing up a vintage Seagate disk drive ready for shipping. And what would be the responsible thing to do? Well, the responsible thing to do would certainly be to make sure that it's working properly. Now, we did check it about a month ago, but we are going to recheck it because the buyer wants us to recheck it, and it's not an unreasonable thing to ask. So we're running a Cromemco 68000 system here, and that provides us the best diagnostic tools. We've already checked it at the low level, at the STDC controller level, and that checked out fine. But once the operating system's booted, we can do more things. First, we can use disk info and go to the last logical partition, which is effectively the whole drive. That's /dev/std31. And so we see we've got 4 heads, 615 cylinders, 20 alternate tracks, location of alternate track 610. Now, all of these settings are valid only to Cromemco systems, and when you format the disk, for example, on your Apricot or whatever vintage computer you want, you'll have an alternate way of expressing the alternate track table, for example. But if for a Cromemco system, we've got partitions 0, 1 and 2, and they are 4 meg, 8 meg and 12.3 meg, as you can see above, and the alternate track table is empty. The other thing we can do is we can do a read all. If you look above, you'll see we've already done a read all here, and slightly above. Let me scroll up a little bit. So we've done 2 read alls, and here, because nothing shows, you can be absolutely sure that it's read every byte of every sector of every track and surface, and it's all come up clean. But to show there's no funny business, we are going to do a read all of /dev/std31. Okay, so you can see it's changing, it's alternating through all the services 0, 1, 2, 3, and we're starting at cylinder 0, 0, and we're just incrementing up all of those cylinders. Now, on Cromemco systems, we actually use a track read command, not a sector read command. So this is a slightly different way of verifying the disk than you might have in, let's say, an alternate computer system. We've got to get all the way to 615, so I've got quite a lot of waffling to get on with. So what more can I say? Well, the STDC hard disk controller can support a maximum of 2 Seagate drives, and the way that this disk controller works, it's actually a self-contained little computer all by itself, sitting on an S100 card. So it's got its own Z80 CPU, it's got its own 64K of memory, and it's got a read-only memory. So when that card is powered up inside the computer, it's its own little computer all by itself, and it needs to talk through to a serial port, and you can interact at the lowest level even when that computer is powered on. So when I powered on the computer, I talked to effectively what we'd now call the BIOS. You can use the T command, the test command, to then test either a floppy or a hard disk. I went for H, the hard disk, and in that low-level command I was able to test the disk at a very rudimentary level, and everything was fine. So at the rudimentary level, it can just do a seek check, and it would also just read and write a few sectors from a few tracks. When I say a few sectors, I mean a few tracks from the cylinders available. So that passed completely fine. So now we've booted, we're back in the operating system, and the check is a bit more thorough. So not long to go. What more waffling can I give you? You can see that this information here, this whole area here is gleaned from the special area at the head of a disk which Cromemco puts there, and this has all of this information on it. Again, for other than Cromemco systems, this is completely meaningless. So partition tables and the standard of partition tables didn't really come into effect till the IBM PC pushed that standard through. Okay, there we have it. We've finished. You can stop listening to my waffling. We've read all surfaces 0 to 3 and all cylinders 0 to 614, and there are no errors. Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to shut down the system nicely, which is kill -21. And the system is shut down and the disk will now be posted. Okay, thanks for watching.